Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the channel. And it seems the crazy folks over at Square Enix have only gone and done it. Whilst we were just streaming the original Final Fantasy VII, they've gone ahead and released a whole new batch of screenshots for the upcoming remake, a game of which I'm very much looking forward to and will be covering the heck out of as we get closer to release. Now, I'm going to leave a link to the PlayStation blog here so you can check out these screenshots for yourself, but one of the things I want to focus on are a couple of the new screenshots that have to do with weapon upgrades. So this appears to be a new feature of the remake, because in the original game you would equip your weapon and then you would stick materia into the weapon and then you would just go ahead and play the game until you found a better weapon for a party member, and then you'd replace your current weapon with the better one, and that's pretty much all there was to it. However, with the remake it appears we're going to be able to upgrade our weapons, starting even with the initial weapons that we get when we begin the game. So here in the first screenshot we can see at the upgrade weapons menu we have Cloud with his Buster Sword equipped, and we can see a few things are going on here. First of all, we can see that he has 2 materia slots on his Buster Sword, the same as on the original game, and he currently has a magic materia with a support materia equipped, and you know, we expect to see that because that was in the original. But one thing that is new here is the fact that the Buster Sword has this ability tied to it known as Focused Thrust. Now, we don't exactly know what Focused Thrust is, but it's probably one of the abilities we've seen during the various gameplay videos and trailers. And here's the thing, we need to level up Focused Thrust as an ability on top of the standard character advancement stuff that we're going to be doing. But once we've gone ahead and learned Focused Thrust, we'll be able to use that regardless of what weapon we have equipped at the time. So initially, before we've learned it, we'll be able to use it only when Buster Sword is equipped. But once the proficiency has been achieved to 100%, that is the ability's been learned, we can then equip one of our other weapons, for example the Hard Edge, another Final Fantasy VII classic, and we'll still continue to be able to use the Focused Thrust ability. And on top of that, it also appears that the weapon itself can level up also. Right now, it appears that Buster Sword is level 3 of, it seems 5 is the maximum, and perhaps that increases the power of the item and gives you skill points, etc, etc, which we'll look at in just a moment's time. So the text that they've given us here is that each weapon has its own unique weapon abilities that increase in proficiency the more they are used. When an ability's proficiency level reaches the maximum, that ability is then learned by the wielder and can be used when wielding any weapon. So it sounds like a pretty interesting system actually. It's a system that I wouldn't say is totally original. We've seen that kind of thing in action before. It certainly actually takes, I'd say, inspiration from the Final Fantasy IX ability system, where you'd have certain abilities attached to various weapons and armour, and once you've gone ahead and equipped those weapons and armour for long enough that you learn those abilities, you can then keep them permanently and activate them as long as you have these skill points to do so at any point in the future. So I'm glad to see that they're taking inspiration from some of the Final Fantasy games that aren't actually Final Fantasy VII as well. But do share your thoughts down in the comment section as to what you think about this upgrade weapon ability feature that we've got going on here. And then we've got this pretty manic screenshot where well, it's clearly a skill interface, and it seems to be taking inspiration from, you know, a lot of more not advanced, more modern games that use these types of skill learning interfaces. So this is the skill interface for the Buster Sword itself, and as you can see, we've got quite a lot going on here. It reminds me a little bit of the Crystarium system, or the Crystarium system from Final Fantasy XIII. It just has that kind of vibe to it, but I suspect it's going to be a lot different. Now, the first thing I noticed here is that the Buster Sword now has 3 materia slots. I don't think we've seen this in any of the other Final Fantasy VII remake screenshots or footage up until this point. Could be wrong on that. But yeah, so it seems that, you know, we can actually add materia slots to equipment, which is an interesting advancement that wasn't present in the original Final Fantasy VII. So right here at the skill screen, there's various abilities and whatnot that can be learned. Right now we've got the Buster Sword core selected. Growth materia encased within a Buster Sword. Use Cloud skill points to unlock skills and enhance the weapon's capabilities, along with the skills list here. And it seems there's 1 skill point available. So this is where we can enhance the weapon itself, perhaps by unlocking new skills which can then be learned, and also unlocking new materia slots. and perhaps just, you know, boosting the stats of that piece of equipment as well. So it seems like there's going to be a lot to do in the remake when it comes to weapon upgrades and just, you know, making our party members more powerful. One of the things I like about this system is it's going to encourage us to perhaps use older weapons and older pieces of equipment for longer than we otherwise would. So it's no longer just going to be a case of, oh, I found Cloud's hard edge, so let's go ahead and equip that because it's got 55 attack power, whereas the Buster Sword only has 15. Okay, fine, but what if you're still learning abilities on the Buster Sword that you want to carry forward with you? Or maybe you've leveled the Buster Sword and boosted its stats. Here the stats are 43, look, as opposed to 15. So clearly the Buster Sword isn't simply going to be replaced just because a different weapons become available. There's going to be other things, other factors involved in making those decisions, and I think I like that. That's a pretty cool feature. I like the way that they're expanding the original in that way. But yes, there's a few other screenshots here which we'll look at in other videos. Right now I want to try and keep things succinct. So let me know what you guys think of the upgrade system here that we're going to be getting in the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Do you like the fact that they're expanding on the weapon system from the original game, or are you more of a purist? Would you rather they have just stuck to what they did with the original and not really, you know, enhanced it any further than that? There wasn't really a whole lot to do with weapons, I've got to say, in the original Final Fantasy VII. It was just a case of, here are the weapons, here are their materials, slots and stats, which is the best, equip what you want to use. But it looks like it's going to be going much deeper than that here in the remake. Alright then folks, well thanks for checking out the video, and I'll see you next time.